Hi, my name is Lene, and I'm here today with Lance Wood from Trucker Charity Inc. Lance is the founder, president, and CEO of the organization. Lance, how are you today?
Fantastic. It's a nice balmy 55 degrees here in Missouri today.
Awesome. And can you give our listeners a little bit of background on what you do?
Well, as a charity, we help truck drivers in their time of need. We do this financially and with education. Most of the help we provide is emergency assistance. Someone gets stranded out on the road. Maybe their boss left them out there. Maybe their truck broke down and they just can't afford to fix it. They have no money. They give us a call and we do what we can to vet everything and try to get them on a bus, plane, or train. Always commercial transportation to get them home, because once you at least get them home, they're safe. They can start reconstructing things and getting back on their feet. But it doesn't help them to be stuck out on the road. So, and we do that with drivers and as well as their bodies. Also, we do the last ride home, and we do quite a bit of them where people pass away on the road, and sometimes their families just don't have the money to bring them home, or the company just doesn't care, and we'll step in, and that's the least we can do to bring those drivers home with dignity and honor.
Yeah, it seems like there's a great need for that. I actually just talked to Truckers Final Mile last week. Have you heard of
Yep.
them?
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. They're real good people over there.
So do you guys kind of work together in those instances? Like, say they don't have the funding, or you don't have the funding, or you're too busy. Do you communicate that way?
For the most part, we kind of do. They do things a little different than what we do.
Right.
There's plenty of need in this space. So I have people ask all the time. So are they competition? No, there's no competition when it comes to nonprofits. It's all about helping people. So I wish there was more. But they do things a little different than what we do, and so we refer people to them, and I know that we've had people come from them, referred from them to us. So.
Right. And so, what year did you start the Trucker Charity?
Oh, I think it was back in 2008. Pretty sure that's when it was. I have to look at the, 2010 is when we become official 501c3, but we started doing charitable work in 2008 because we started as what was called the Christmas group. And
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of how we got going. We've been doing Christmas each year. A bunch of drivers get together, raise funds, and we'd find families, and each family would get like $600-700. And right after the Christmas season, after we got done giving out all these checks, I think it was the third year, the families, about 2 days later, the Aero crisis had taken place, where Aero trucking had shut down, and they left thousands of drivers stranded all over the country. And
Oh,
just so
wow.
happened we still had some funding coming in, and we had already had these drivers all getting together on conference calls. We were used to working and this type of stuff and down to the wire. And I think that for that first year, I don't have the exact number on me right now because somebody it's almost 10 years ago, but I know it was like 43 drivers. We just happened to get home in that 48-hour period, put them on buses, planes, and trains. And it's funny, to this day, at Christmas Day, my mom always remembers how we literally had Aero drivers sitting at our table Christmas Day because we're waiting to get them get them somewhere safe.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of where our whole need for trucker charity came from. We stem from that because they're like, why just do this one time a year when there is need all year long?
Right. I know, and it's something I never really thought about until, I talked to the guys over at Final Mile, like, what does happen to a truck driver, if they're in an accident so far from home.
Right. And and that's the thing. So we run into somewhere, the drivers have put in that this is how they want to go. They want trucker charity to be, bring them their last ride home, and we either hire a truck and trailer, or we have plenty of people who volunteer, and we'll go pick up the remains, whether it be the body itself or cremated remains, and bring them back with dignity and style. Typically, it's I like to tell people we make it a joyous occasion. It's that driver's last ride home versus them getting shoved in a back of a parcel delivery truck and just delivered as a piece of freight. That's not how we like to see drivers come home, especially if we're able to help the family, because we also get them too where maybe this person's passed away on the road, or hundreds of miles or thousands of miles away from home. The family's already distraught.
Oh,
They just
yeah.
lost a loved one. They're a million things going through their mind. If that's one little thing we can do, we work with funeral homes all the time. They know who we are.
Right.
First couple ones that we did, it was kind of an issue, but now it's I mean it's one phone call, they're ready to help us, and it's just one less worry for the family.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good way to honor the person and what they spent their life work doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, and it's we get them from both sides. We get either where the families can't afford to bring the body home, right? Because it can be sometimes thousands of dollars,
Right.
and so we'll come in and help them. We have others where people are like, oh no, dad was the president of the company. He had 200 trucks. Money's not the issue. We just want it done in style.
Right.
Okay, no problem. We'd be happy to help. It's the least we can do. And we've worked with. We've done this enough. It's kind of funny that we've worked with some large carriers now that they do it on their own. They'll call us and for some guidance, and so it's really awesome to start to see the industry taking care of their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, other than the final ride, what are some other ways that you offer financial assistance?
So what the one thing we don't do is we don't assist in medical need.
Okay.
Simply because there's so much of it, and it's just not our focus. There are other great charities out there, like the St. Christopher Fund and stuff like that. That they kind of, that's their area.
Yeah, we
So, but
actually, my coworker Troy interviewed them yesterday for this
yeah,
podcast. So,
yeah, they're great. They're
yeah.
great people over there too. And I mean, so we don't do much with the medical side of things, other than let's say someone was stranded out on the road, they have a stroke or whatever, then we'll get them home if we can. Because sometimes they need specialized ambulances and that type of stuff. But otherwise, we do a lot of. We'll get people calling. They started a new job, and it's 2 weeks to payday, and they just need $50 for groceries. We get that call quite a bit. That's an easy one to do. You can stock a lot of food in a truck for $50 if someone goes to a grocery store versus trying to eat at a truck stop for 10-15 bucks a meal.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so we do that a lot. We've done things that where people say, "Oh man, I got to the shipper. I've been stuck here for literally 24 hours. I haven't had nothing to eat at all, and I don't have a penny in my name." You know what? It's real easy for us to get a pizza delivered to them. You wouldn't think something like that would be a big deal, but if someone's hungry, that's a simple thing for us. 15 bucks, give them a pizza, they're good, and until maybe payday's a day or two later. So sometimes we have to think outside the box and do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
We get, I think, our biggest calling that we get right now is either last ride homes or for our life coaching. We do get a
Okay.
lot of people calling for life coaching, and that was something that just started from the grassroots. I would say that's probably 50% of what we're doing right now, maybe even a little more. The nice thing about life coaching is financially it doesn't really cost us much. It just costs us time, and
Right.
that's where our volunteers come in real good. We have people who've been through certifications for life coaching. We have other people who just naturally have a good knack for it. Um, I do a lot of life coaching. I specialize in addiction, uh,
Okay.
and I get a lot. You'd be shocked how many calls I get for stuff like that. So we've had people call, and that's they just want someone to talk to. Literally,
Yeah.
3 in the morning. They've called everybody. We try to answer our phones 24/7. It rings through to around 10 different people uh, who are all ready. They're ready to spend whatever time it takes to talk with somebody. Um, I got. I've made some very, very, very good relationships, life coaching people. Some of them I've been working with for years. Everything you wouldn't think about, they'll call and are like, man, it could be anything. Life's little problems. Maybe marital issues, or maybe they come to find out that they're getting ready they're being blessed with a child, and that's the last thing they thought of, and they're already financially broke, but they just need someone to talk to. We do a lot of that, a whole lot. Quite amazed, really. And then the addiction side is something that we never really thought we would see in the industry, and we kind of speak out about it quite a bit. There's a lot of help out there for people. They just don't know, and that's kind of that little black sheep no one wants to talk about. No one wants to go in their HR department and say, "Hey, is there any kind of help for me?" Because they just
Right.
they just don't realize that they're actually federally protected if they get help before they start failing drug tests.
Right. Absolutely. I actually used to cover healthcare. So I wrote a lot about the opioid epidemic and addiction treatment, availability. I mean, specific to Pennsylvania because that's where I am, but I know that it's a huge issue across the country. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that it's affected trucking as well.
It is, and, it's a big issue. It's one of those things that people they do need to talk about it. It's 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 a real big issue, and it'd be nice if more employers would actually put out there because basically, if you have health insurance, man, there's so much assistance out there for you for it. But like I said, everyone they get this idea, oh my gosh, if I admit I have a problem, I'm going to lose my career. Then that's not the case.
Right. As long as they're willing to get help and they want to save their career.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're talking about life coaching, and I'm familiar with life coaching, but just for our listeners, can you explain the difference between like life coaching and seeing a therapist, and exactly, what life coaching entails? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So our life coaches, none of our life coaches currently right now, we do have one, which is myself, that's working on a medical certification. They're not the best way to explain it is think of calling a friend that doesn't have a interest to I'll say BS you. You know,
Right.
maybe you're looking at buying your first truck. And you're going to call your best friend. He's a driver. These people, a lot of times, they're going to tell you what you want to hear, right? They're not going to listen. Um, I call it effective listening. You'd be shocked how much people will just open up when they know there's someone who they can talk to, and they're not going to get a lesson from the past. Well, you remember you tried this before, so it's a lot of it is effective listening. We have no reason to steer a person in the wrong way. Um, a lot, I mean, that's kind of the best way I could put it. Someone has to actually want life coaching, though, for it to work. And I kind of got drawn into this thing by accident. I never knew what it was, and we actually have people that they'll call now and they'll say, "Well, I just want life coaching."
Right.
Okay, so we have to go through and find a coach that would work well for them, because it doesn't do any good to try to put someone with someone who they're not going to work with. Ideally, your life coach, you want that to be someone that you can call just about whenever when you need help. Uh, Now, if an effective life coach would be able to tell, hey, look, man, you might want to get in and actually talk to a therapist. You might have some deeper things than we can talk about, and we actually, I don't call it steer people, but we get quite a few people that we get motivated to go get some professional help, which is stuff that a life coach really can't do. But with trucking like it is, people on the road, it's already a high stress job.
Right.
Truck drivers are great for just going on the road and driving, and they leave that problem there. But where if they actually just took some time and talked to somebody who's, like I said, not a friend, not a relative, not a family member, who's going to be supportive no matter what normally. If they can talk to a neutral party, man, a lot of times they actually solve their own problems just talking to somebody. Because they know what they really want in the end, right?
Right.
But it's, like I said, I wish I had a better answer to your question about the difference between a therapist and a life coach. But, your therapist is normally going to be more medically certified and trained. They're going to work more with your deeper mental type issues, and that's not life coaching.
Right. So that's what I was going to ask you, actually. How can people get involved? So, I know that question's probably twofold. You probably need donations, but also what type of volunteers do you need? Can you just talk about what your needs are and how people can help you or get them to you?
Yeah, so we're actually in a pretty good spot. We have no paid employees here. While yes, financial donations are nice, we need volunteers more than we need financial donations. I mean, and I can say it, a lot of charities are kind of in the same spot. We can pick up a phone call and get money anytime we need it. Money is not our issue. It's not.
Right.
For the most part, you get something hit with something big, but we're always able to make it work. It's the volunteers we need. Everything from and it's kind of hurting us more now because some of these companies have phone restrictions where drivers aren't allowed to use their phone, and we prefer to make sure drivers are safe and parked and not talking on the phone while they're trying to help somebody, right? Safety first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our big thing is trying to get more people who can work our phones, do help with computer research, that type of stuff. So here's what would normally happen. Someone puts in an application for assistance online. Right when they send that application goes out to a team of people who start working to vet that, right? But someone has to make that first call to these people, and that gets assigned to someone who just does first calls. All this person does is they're going to call this number we gave them. We're going to give them a name and a phone number. They're going to call them and basically kind of do a quick phone interview. They don't know what we know. They don't have the application, but it's part of our verifying, right? Because
Right.
this person done gave us an application online that says what their problem is. Well, now the first person's going to call them and basically touch them and contact them and know, hey, we got this. We're working on it. Here's what we do. But also ask some questions. And that way, the info they give that person, it's all done online. We have a form they fill out and kind of a script, if that makes sense. And then when they submit that form, it goes out to our team. So now our team has this first call that was done, and we have this application for assistance, and our team will start working to vet it. And that team makes up anywhere from 3 to 5 people who are going to verify employment, maybe get a hold of the truck stop where maybe this person's stranded, and let them know, hey, they are working with us, they're not loitering. If you could go ahead and feed them, they're hungry. That'll get us some time to where we can work some phone calls, and that's at least that person's safe. It's that's the stuff that we really need, and it's hard because when we get volunteers who are really good at something, we use them a lot, right?
Right.
And they get burned out. So we're gotten pretty good at that. Where our volunteers know, hey, look, just take me off the list for a week or two. I need a break. Awesome. All right. Versus wearing them out. So we need people to handle phone calls and doing online research. We'll have people who they're not data savvy, so they can't fill out the application online. And they'll call in, they hit a prompt on our toll-free number, and it will send them, it'll ring to one of the volunteers who've signed up to just help people who call in fill out the application online form. So basically, they're kind of a third party, We definitely need more life coaches. And that's kind of the hard area there because, some people want to do it. They don't know, they're not certified. They don't know if they're going to have to get certified. We need both. We need people who have very good extensive training, but we also need people who just want to talk to people and help.
Right.
You'd be shocked how many people are just nomadic truck drivers. They don't have a brother or a friend to call. They don't. You'd be shocked how many drivers are out there. They don't. We have, like myself, I got a whole list of people that drive truck I can call just to talk, right?
Right.
There's some people out there, they don't have anybody. They just, when life hits them, they want to be able to call and talk to somebody on the phone. Just talk. Could be about anything.
And what is the phone number that drivers can call to get in touch with you guys?
It's 888-523-0087.
Very cool. And how many people would you say that you assist every year?
It varies. Our average, I actually crunched some numbers just the other day because we're getting ready to do our financials for the year, and our average is about 156 people a year. This year, though, it's going to be real low. Actually,
Okay.
it looks like we're around 88 for the year. That's not counting life coaching. That's people that were doing last ride homes, putting on bus, plane, or train, that type of stuff. That doesn't count food assistance. But it's we can tell when the economy's good, there's less need for what we do.
Right.
And trucking's booming right now. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see an uptick like around the holidays?
We do. Yeah. We get a lot in the holidays. So see, we used to do the Christmas group, and we don't. There's the original people that we first got there, they set up and they handle that now, and the Truckers Christmas group. And so we refer a lot to them. But this time of year, it's and we're not seeing a whole lot right yet. I'm kind of shocked. We keep waiting on it, but normally we'll start getting the people who need to get home for Thanksgiving. We'll get that, and it's always the Friday. It's all we kind of joke about it. It's the calls always come in at 5:01 on Friday, right?
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, and so we'll get people. We'll have to try to get home, or we'll get people. It's mom and dad are a truck driver, and they're there for Thanksgiving, and they really want their daughter. They haven't seen their daughter or their son in many years. And so, we do. I can't say that we do that all the time, but we do the best we can to help trucking families, not just the truck driver.
Right.
So, if we can put that sibling on a bus for $100, $150 and get them home for Thanksgiving, that can. It might sound odd to some, but that could be life changing for some families.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's just a lot about the trucking industry. I mean, even for myself that I never thought about how much that truckers sacrifice to do what they do, so it's really cool to see people like you guys out there in St. Christopher's, trying to help.
Oh yeah, and that's that's the big thing. There's so much medical need out there right now, and so we get calls all the time and like I said, we answer the calls all the time, and so we tell people, even if it's not something we do, put in an application for assistance, even if it's medical, and we'll work our best to refer you to somebody. Even if it's calling, we have volunteers, like I said, they'll do computer research. They'll sit there and they'll look for all the different charities in the area where this person might live. Whether it be, we're getting a lot for heating assistance right now. People need heating assistance.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost us anything; it just costs us time. And that's a lot of times that's what these folks need. They need an advocate, someone who will help them. And so we get a lot of those. And the one that we really just don't have a solution for, quite often people need help with mechanical repairs. We just can't help. Their truck engine blew up, and there's just really no one out there for those folks to help them.
Is there anything else you want to say about the trucker charity or the industry in general before we wrap up today?
Not really. Just like I said, if we have anybody who's interested in helping, even if it's just, and we have schedules, so it's if people say, I can give you 3 hours a week, but on Friday from 7 to 10, you know what? Go to our website at truckercharity.org. Click on that volunteer section, and there's kind of a little application to fill out for volunteering. We'll be more than happy to work with you and see what we can do. We'll hear quite a lot. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. If you're willing to give us a time, we will do the best we can to help you. And that's kind of what we're really needing right now. We've seen some good charities come in and actually basically fold up and go because they couldn't get the volunteers they needed. So when it comes this time of year, everyone's always thinking, we got to make that financial donation. Man, time is money. That's how I like to say it. Sometimes that time is worth more.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say that, this is great stuff that you're doing this year round, and it seems like this time of year is when most people think, what are some ways I can volunteer or donate or help? But the reality of it is we need to be thinking about it year round. So hopefully we get some people's attention, you get some phone calls, and they can help you not just around the holidays, but continue throughout the year. All right. Well, enjoy your fall weekend, and thank you again so much for coming on the show today.
No, thank you for having us. Really appreciate it. God bless you guys.